something that we've been really excited about here on the Sports Cubicle when we got to these NBA playoffs was the idea of some of these matchups that we were going to see. And I believe for the most part, and I think a lot of you agree who follow us here on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV with the marvelous one, Dan Marver, Paul Chivari, Devin Tingle, myself, Mike Mercado, we were excited about these NBA playoffs. We thought there were going to be some competitive games. And quite honestly, that hasn't been the case, right? And finally, in the NBA Finals, it seemed like we were going to get what we were promised in these awesome matchups between some of these great young talents and some of this old talents and the meeting of the guards to see who was going to take over this league. But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what is going on with Brittney Griner. This is something that's been going on for months. She's still not home. She's still being jailed in Russia. And I think it's irresponsible we don't talk about her importance both on and off the court. This is a Hall of Famer. This is one of the highly scouted basketball players ever in the planet. That's including men and women. And somebody who's very active in the LGBTQ plus community. Somebody who's very active in all types of activism. And for us to lose an Olympian, a champion, one of our own, and it's still not home. And the reason I wanted to bring it up and how it correlates to the NBA Finals is we got to see a lot of these NBA players, especially in Boston, wearing the free Brittney Griner shirts. And it's going to take that. And it's really interesting to see how, while we're taking so many steps forward, it still takes the power of the men's league to come out and be the saviors of the day. That shouldn't be the case. It's in great fate that we're seeing the NBA working with the WNBA to make awareness of this. But it's up to politicians. And we know, and we've seen, and we're not naive, that this is all political maneuvering, that this is all just the Game of Thrones. And Brittney Griner is the one that's being caught in the middle of it. Did she do something wrong? Yeah, something illegal, if you're to believe the stories. But are you to believe all the stories you're getting from Russia? In a situation when this type of high-profile celebrity / athlete is in the center of it, it's something you got to keep in mind while you're watching the Chicago Sky, while you're getting ready for the Chicago Bulls and the draft and the free agency, while you're watching the Celtics and the Warriors in the NBA Finals. It's important to have this in the back of your head and in the forefront for that matter, because it's one of our own, one of our greats needs some help. And I'm happy to finally see it on the biggest stage between two huge markets and two great teams to see this message go out there. But there needs to be more. And it's from our leadership that we need to see that. But I understand the complicatedness of you reap what you sow. But when is enough enough? How much in trouble would she have gotten here? And this is why we here at the Sports Cubicle we let you know all over WCPT on all our programs. Not everywhere is the United States. Not everywhere is where you live, what you're comfortable with, what your normality is. So when you travel, remember that you're traveling to another place. Because if this can happen to a huge celebrity, imagine what it happened to us. And that should scare you. A celebrity, active Black woman. And this happened to her. I'm glad to see the NBA working with the WNBA, but this is a story we got to keep talking about. And it's a story I know you guys are interested in. But let us know your thoughts. When is this going to end? What should the NBA do? How can the NBA, WNBA, and our politicians make sure we get Brittney Griner back? And for that matter, anybody else who's being held captive in one of these countries that shouldn't be, and they should be back home. Let us know. We're on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV. It's the marvelous one, Dan Marver. It's Paul Chivari. It's Devin Tingle. I'm Mike Mercado.